Hello everyone. In this video, we are focusing on Destination NAT. And what we are doing here, basically, uh, we are having firewall. So let's say that this is firewall. And this firewall actually is connected to the internet, the same as the previous video. And then we have here a LAN port, which is this one, LAN port number 1. And I'm connecting this one to a web server. So that's my web server. I put the IP address as 192.168.1.200. And here, that's my WAN side, probably is in the range of 142, that I'm going to check the IP address later. So the client, yeah, you see that the WAN port IP address is here. So the client entered this IP address. So this IP address is going to be translated and reach to this web server. So the translation can happen based on the port forwarding that you're defining on the firewall. For example, I'm going to say that, okay, 142.197.39, port number 8888 should be translated to 192.168.1.200 port 80. Well, usually we are not writing port 80 because by default it's port 80, but this translation between these two ports happens. So let's prepare this scenario. Part of this scenario that I'm preparing here is under my VMware. So I'm connecting this port to the bridge as a bridge port actually on my VMware. So then this two ports are connected to each other. So that's my appliance that's connected to, one side is connected to the internet and the other side is connected to a web server. So to start with that one, I am going to this web server. So I've already installed Apache here. So basically, if you type here localhost, the web server will be show up here. So localhost. Okay. So then I'm gonna change the IP address here on the wire settings to 192.168.1.224 and 192.168.1.1 is a gateway, right? And also I put this on the settings and network adapter. I put this one as bridge because my appliance actually is in the network. So if you see that this is a network that I have here, so that's my firewall IP address. I put this one as 200. So you see that is 200, 1.200 and is bridge. That means that they can be connected to each other. So the next step, you can do a destination NAT here in two ways. You can do it manually, define a manual destination NAT, or you can create a servers that I've already, I think, created that one. So I'm gonna create it again. I'm gonna delete probably this one, and I created a new one here from scratch. So this is your web server that you're defining. So if you have a mail server, DNS server, FTP server, or other servers, you can define it here. And I put this one as an Apache server or web server. Server. So the IP address that you're defining here for the web server is 192.168.1.200, right? Allow DNS to resolve the object, exclude from DHCP, that's okay. And now which zone you want to allow this web server. So basically my scenario is coming from the inner side. So then WAN port. So I'm telling that, okay, this is like coming from outside. But if your scenario is like that, it's from LAN or is a VPN side, you can select this one. As pingable, uh, block connection or accept connection, you can lock both of them if you want. And here is the port forwarding scenario that you have. Like you can set this one as a port forwarding, and then if you want to have uh, like a static NAT, you can do one by one or no NAT. This is a scenario that you can put it here. So in this scenario that I have here, uh, so that's external IP address is going to be translated to internal. Okay, so that's probably your server IP. But you see that there are some ports by default defined here. So I'm just editing this part. So I don't have an HTTPS. I only have port 80. So I put that one here. And under um, under probably NAT, you see that this one is enabled also. Um, so the rest of that should be okay. I apply this one. So 192.168. So the public IP address is going to be translated to this IP address. I already also have kind of, so that server that you're creating here, it will generate a NAT and also policy here. Look, it will generate policy that allow uh, this web server, that's a web server, to access uh, this one and also this Apache server. That's your gateway that you have here. Okay. So if you need to change anything, you can click here, Apache server, and play with these options. Like I mentioned that you can also have a port forwarding, but if you go from here, and then once you want to edit the port forwarding, um, is located here. So then you can put the port forwarding under here. So both is correct. Like here and also under NAT that I show you, you can select the Apache server and then change the NAT. So I mentioned NAT port, for example, um, 8888 I mentioned, right? So let's see what happens. So if you look at here, it's saying that this IP address, public IP address with this port number is going to be translated to this one. Also, by default, once you're creating server, it will generate the port number here, also translate services also here. You can do this one under manual NAT, defining or like original source, original destination as an object and do it manually. But this feature is very good actually. Gives you this opportunity to create your server here and then automatically create a NAT and policy on your firewall. So you don't need to take care of this part. So then basically, uh, if you now enter 142.232.197.39 port 8888, then you should reach to Apache server. Basically, your destination NAT works properly. And also you can verify from here. You see that the log is coming and accepted, and that shows your destination NAT. Also show you here my local network. You see that I have only one LAN 1, which is connected to this VM on the bridge network. And if you want to, for example, another scenario can be like that. Okay, I want to have a new server, for example, if you want to have other server, uh, you say that, okay, this is SSH server port 22. Mm. And then uh, you want to enable SSH, right? So what is the IP address? Again, 192.168.1.200. It's coming from all zones. You accept the connection, and you can use the port forwarding and finish it here. You have the same thing, and it doesn't allow you to have the same IP address for this one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm removing this one because that overlap. So now it should be okay. So that's like your SSH that you have. So once you get to this step, then you can go under NAT and do a port forwarding. Let's say under this port, translation of 4444 to 22. You want to do this way. So by default, again, this one, it will create a NAT and also policy here. That's SSH. Just I want to make sure that I have SSH enabled here. Sudo -s service SSH status. So it's running. So then what I'm gonna do, I open terminal on my Windows and do SSH to Ubuntu. That's the user that I have, and add sign 192. Oh, sorry, 142.223.219-P4444. Right? So look, and you're inside this Ubuntu. If you do IP address, that's the IP address of 1,200. Also, you can verify from here your logs. So this is the um, accepted. Yeah, we have accepted here this one. So this is a record that we have for that SSH. I hope this has been informative for you guys, and thanks for watching.